computer. Okay, awesome. Hey everybody, welcome to our live juice fast training. This is the first time we've ever done it. So I'd be curious to see if any of you guys watching the replay have some feedback for us. Is this helpful? Too much info, overkill, et cetera, et cetera. And away we go. So I want to start off just by saying, kind of a congratulations to everybody who's doing this work, right? It takes effort and it takes intention and it takes purpose and really kind of some digging in to stay on sort of this bandwagon of chasing good health and always looking to next level our health and well-being and never being just satisfied with where we are. So I want to say, like, congratulations to you for doing the work. If this is your first time doing a juice fast, I'm even more excited for you because I truly believe that the power of juice to really up-level our well-being and our frequency to that next highest level is true and real. We have a couple participants live with us, so there could be some questions. Karen, if you have a question, the way this is going to work is you just interrupt me at any time. Obviously, Lucas, if you have a question, you just interrupt me at any time. This is a casual conversation and not a preaching to kind of scenario, so feel free to join in. Karen here has done some juice fasting work before, even some longer fasts, so we have kind of a veteran juice drinker with us live today. So what I'd like to start out with would really just be this idea that we might not know, and something I get a lot of questions about. And it's like, well, how would I maybe consider doing a juice fast or a day of juice as opposed to just doing a 24-hour water fast? That's probably one of the #1 questions I get. Fasting has become really this mainstream buzzword where, 10 years ago, people were crazy if we were fasting, right? But now it's we do intermittent fasting, we change our schedule, we do some longer fasts, heck, we even do extended guided juice fasts now. So I want to address that question first. And the answer is this: whenever we do fasting work, whether that be by way of even a dry fast, which isn't quite as popular anymore, a water fast for 24 hours, or we incorporate juice, we are really doing our body a great service, because we know if we want to live a long time and we want to live a long time in vibrant health, and meaning we're sort of getting better and sort of anti-aging, and not in the sort of like foofy sense of that word, but we're really feeling better as years go by, we have to eat less. And we know that when our body accumulates fasting hours, that our body is able to heal and repair some of the parts of our body that might not be able to get really any attention because of the overburden that we place on our body every day by way of, yes, that's right, digestion, how much food we eat, right? So if you want to use the analogy of kind of a home, our home, most of the time, I would say, Karen, you, Lucas, me, we all probably do the dishes just about every day. We probably maybe sweep the floor every couple days. If you're a terrible housekeeper, now's not the time to say it. We probably do the regular things. But I don't know how often we clean our attic. I know that I have not probably cleaned my attic in quite some time, and I don't know how often. I usually make my children do it, clean the basement. Do I really scrub the baseboards every week, or do I really wax the floors every week? Probably not. And the same sort of thing can be applied to our body. Our body goes through every single day. The main effort required is that to really process digestion, right? Sort of do that digestive sort of like work. Our liver works super freaking hard every day, right? To move all the toxins out of our liver, really clean our system. Our kidneys work hard. So if we're overburdening that, meaning we're eating too much, too often, in the wrong food combination, we're exposing ourselves to too many environmental toxins or safe poisons like alcohol, et cetera, then our body never, ever has the chance. It's too tired to clean the baseboards or the attic or the basement. It's just freaking tired. So over time, there could be some areas that need some repair and attention, because our body is a amazing self-healing machine. It just needs the time and the space to do so. So we want to make sure we're doing that. So regardless of whatever type of fast we're doing, I want the record to state, congratulations to you for taking it on, and know that accumulating these fasting hours is really good for us. So regardless of that. So the juice fast, however, a little different than a dry fast or a water fast. And you may be saying to yourself, wow, there's a lot of calories in the juice fast. How how am I staying in a fasted state? And maybe saying to yourself, oh my gosh, am I supposed to have any, how is this even going to work? Because I don't think I can get into autophagy if I eat a piece of gum or I have a cup of coffee. So how in the world am I doing that with the juice fast? And that's a very good question. And you'll hear me talk about this sort of idea of digestive rest, because for just a moment in your juice fast day, I want you to forget about the idea of kind of calories. I want you to forget about this idea of like true fasted state, or this idea of autophagy, because if we lined 25 integrative doctors and 25 conventional doctors all up in a row and asked each of them the $1,000,000 question of what causes an individual to sort of enter autophagy and at what point do they enter, you would have 50 different answers. So the sort of news about that is that we are all bio individuals. When I enter a fasted state versus Karen or Lucas or whoever is listening on the line is totally different, right? So what we want to think about is an idea of digestive rest. What can we do to nourish our body with nature's perfect fuel source? There's no disputing that. Juice, organically made, to sort of suit fasting is nature's perfect fuel. So what can we do to sort of flood our body with nature's perfect fuel source while providing digestive rest? Meaning our body does not have to go through that overwork and overload that we do daily of digestion. And the answer is a juice fast. And that's why I believe that it's a huge power punch for your health and well-being. Not only is your body achieving digestive rest, because it is, it's almost as if nature's perfect fuel is going in via IV, right? You're sort of like laying on nature's operating table, but you're putting in 20 pounds of nature's perfect fuel source in the most concentrated and easily assimilated form by the body, period. And that is sort of the name of the juice fasting game. Juice allows our body to fully assimilate all the vitamins, nutrients, enzymes, everything from the juice that we might not ordinarily be able to do when we're eating a big salad. Because many of us, after years of not maybe having the most ideal microbiome, maybe not having the most ideal sort of digestion and process end to end, it could have become somewhat impaired due to some poor choices. If all 4 of us or all 30 of us on this call ate a salad, each of us as bio individuals would have a different level of absorption of those very powerful, good, healthy things that we're trying to get from the salad. But what I can tell you about juice is it's the great equalizer, because everybody can absorb this really power punch of plants. And so what does that do for us? Well, that does a couple of big things. Number one, it does the work on the microbiome. It tells our sort of gut bacteria to create and really promote the type of bacteria that I call the good guys. Those are like your all-star players on your team, versus those bench warmers that kind of hold on to everything. They tell us to crave sweet, gunky stuff. These bacteria tell us, no, I want more fruits and vegetables. And so often I'll hear people say, gosh, it's so weird. Now I really want to crave more. I really crave carrots and apples, where before I had such a sweet tooth. And it's because when we flood our body with nature's perfect fuel, that bacteria begin to change. We start promoting the good guys, squeaking out the bad guys. And that's really, in my opinion, the big benefit of the juice fast. Never mind that the nutrients are so incredibly concentrated. It'd take a long time and a lot of effort to have 20 pounds of produce to eat that in a day, and you're able to drink it. So that's really the reason and the power I really believe is inherent in juice fasting work. And again, we're not going to worry so much about calories in the day. Typically speaking, if you've done our juice fast before, you might know, oh my gosh, I have different juices. And that's true. I do change them, and I curate a different fast, sometimes monthly, sometimes more often. And so you'll notice right now during summer, you have what I call light juices, because during summer, our body needs lots more hydration than it needs in the wintertime. We typically are outside longer. We tend as humans to do more during the summer. We tend to sweat more in the summer, and we need lots of hydration. So you'll notice lighter juices. In the winter, you'll notice maybe our fast might even have 2 beet juices. We tend to get a little heavier, more dense vegetable juices during the fall and winter season, because that's what our body needs. And that's like eating seasonally and sort of living seasonally, which I want you to sort of begin to think about. So now that we've really talked about kind of the, why we might do a juice fast over a water fast. And again, all are good, but this is kind of the mechanics of doing it. I want to spend just a few minutes telling you about why the juices that you're going to drink in the next couple days, whenever you're going to do the fast, are different than potentially some that you've had before. Number one, we are certified organic by the USDA. That is, in my opinion, one of the best health elevating choices you can make for your body, and that is switching to organically grown food. And it is possible to do that. It is possible to do that in a budget. I do that every week for a family of 5, and you have to be thoughtful and do some planning, but you can. What the last thing we want to do is spend money on a super healthy habit like drinking a juice or getting a big salad, only to find that those vegetables within your salad have been contaminated with glyphosate or other sides, herbicides, fungicides, anything that your liver has to process. To me, the return on your investment is actually going in the wrong direction. So you don't have to worry about that with our product. It is certified organic by the USDA. You'll also notice that our vegetable juices are really vegetable sort of heavy. What I mean to say is, like, you'll notice some of the ingredients, romaine and kale, are near the top of the ingredient list. The law and the rules say that everything that we drink and the ingredients therein should be listed in order of dominance, meaning by how much sort of volume they comprise in the juice. Now, I'm here to tell you that I know that not all juice companies do that, but that's the way that it should be done. You'll also notice that we do work to try and create a balanced day, which is you'll have some juices that are going to be really tasting like a salad, and some juices that are a little lighter and give you an experience of fruit. Keeps our blood sugar pretty stable during the fast, and for many of us, we're new to this work. I will tell you, if you're going to embark on a longer fast, meaning that outside kind of 24, 36 hours, I recommend that you do 90% green juices in that experience. So when we run our extended longer fast, we do them about 4 times a year. This year it's going to be 3 times. You'll notice that, oh my gosh, I'm going to drink all green juice for 3 days. And the answer is yes, because in that case, we're achieving something different. We're moving into a longer fasting period and our bodies need something different. So just know that the juices may change, and we get that question a lot. So I think probably now, Karen, if you have any questions, again, do you have any questions about that? I want you just to jump right in. I don't want you to, okay. I want to talk a little bit about how we might enter a juice fast and how we might exit a juice fast. And I'm going to do those 2 things together. And the reason for that is they're sort of the same in that sense. How we enter something and how we exit something, especially when we're talking about fasting. And this is true, you guys, whether you're doing a 24-hour just water fast or a juice fast experience. How we enter the fast and how we break the fast has a huge determination on the return on your time or on your investment. So many of us think, oh my gosh, I'm going to be doing my fast tomorrow, so tonight I'm going to have the Last Supper and I'm going to eat as much food as I can. I'm going to load up the tank so that I'll have plenty of energy for the next day. I'm going to make sure that I eat super late at night so that hopefully I won't be as hungry tomorrow. And so that is a big 0. That is a big 0 for the first point of eating too much and a big 0 for eating too late. What we want to do as we're moving toward our fast is begin transitioning toward the sort of the juice form, which is we might want to consider, hey, I'd like to maybe take on being a plant-based eater for the next couple of days, or even just the day before. We're going to want to eat lighter. So maybe that means we get rid of cow's dairy, which is highly inflammatory for most of us, not all. Maybe we stop eating animal fleshes. That would be all the animal meats. And we just focus on plants. We might focus on steaming those because, again, making it a little softer, easier for our digestion. We're easing our body into this transition of fasting. We're also going to, smoothies, a great choice during our pre-fasting period. Also, you're going to want to think about not eating late at night, period, ever, but certainly before we begin a fast. We would want to end our sort of eating window no later than, I would say, 6:30 or 7, assuming you're going to lie down around 10:30. True sort of like aficionados in sort of like this timed eating, it's called the quantum eating. They say do not eat after the sun goes down. So in the summer, that's pretty easy. But if you're going to do that in the fall and winter, that means 5:30 is super, super early. So I can't say that I follow it to the letter of the law, but I do try, because we always want to be thinking back to our sort of ancestral times, and that's what happened then, right? There's no blinking lights or screens at night to keep us awake. Typically on the farm, we would eat, early and sort of close that down, and we would rise early the next morning. And so we want to get back to that sort of like approach. So no eating late. So that's really kind of the it in terms of sort of entering your fast. The only thing that I would recommend that you also might think about is if you are in service to other people, meaning you are taking care of children at home, you're taking care of your spouse at home, you're taking care of elderly parents, you know, whatever the case may be, that you might plan an easy dinner for them the night, you know, the day of your fast, so that you don't have to really, during that dinner time hour, which I think is typically the hardest in a fast day, be in the kitchen, you know, with lots of smells and foods that you might be tempted by. So I tend to pre-plan a little bit and make sure that I have an easy dinner ready for my family that they can do themselves. And I think that's a great service. And then you can take a break, because it's nice to be and have a break. I also have one other recommendation that you might pre-plan for, and that's that you spend at least 30 minutes during your fast day doing something that is exclusively in service to you. And that's sometimes really hard for us to do, because it feels like, oh my gosh, I feel guilty about taking 30 minutes to read a book. Wait, I'm supposed to be working. Wait, I'm supposed to be cleaning my baseboards. Wait, I'm supposed to be, you know, doing what my job. I'm supposed to be doing my thing. I'm supposed to be driving the kids somewhere. And we all have responsibilities every day that we, you know, that we get to do, which is amazing. But 30 minutes of time, whether that's a longer yoga practice than you might normally do, a longer Pilates practice, Karen just finished that, maybe meeting a friend for some tea or coffee or a juice or a walk, things that you might not ordinarily do, because good health, you guys, really is about giving our emotional body a break, giving our physical body a break, and giving some time and space to really just be for ourselves. So pre-plan that for yourself. Maybe get a manicure, pedicure, whatever the day gives for you. But I promise that the emotional clearing and benefit will help you. Okay, so breaking the fast, same sort of thing. We don't want to wake up the day after our fast and have a Cracker Barrel Uncle Herschel's, you know, big breakfast with all the things. And I don't even know what's in that thing, but I know it's a lot. And so like bacon, eggs, biscuits, toast, gravy, pancakes, thank the Lord, praise Jesus, I've made it through this fast day, because that's really going to put our stomach into, and our digestive system into, holy moly, you know, what happened? So we want to go back easy. So potentially you save a juice. Often 6 juices is too much for us during the fast day, and I'll talk about that in a second. So maybe you break your fast with a juice around 10 a.m. Maybe you break your fast with a great smoothie, maybe a side of steamed veggies, and you sort of slowly work back into your eating day. A good rule of thumb to think about is for every fasting day that you do, you need sort of 1 day of food transition. So if for people that are going to do our extended guided fast of say 3, 6, or 9 days in August, if you're a 3-day faster, plan on 3 days of transition back. If you're a 6-day faster, 6 days of transition back. And what we do when we do that is we really do get a much longer experience at sort of like really working on and giving our body the attention it needs. So 1 day of kind of re-entry per 1 day of fasting. Then you would slowly add back in those things. So animal fleshes would be last. If you're going to put cow's dairy back in, that would kind of be second. You sort of load your meals as they go. So that would be breaking the fast. If anybody has any questions, again, you can write them in or just yell them out, Karen or Lucas, if you all have any questions. So in order to keep this short and sweet, I want to talk a little bit about fasting day. Like, what do you do during the fasting day? And it's pretty easy. You know, you drink a lot of juice, right? But there are a few things that I want to talk about. And this is going to be kind of the how to, when to, what not to do, what you should do, what you shouldn't do section of this talk. And again, it's not hard, but there are a few things that I think really will make your fasting experience a little bit easier. The first question that I get, it is 100% probably the the most frequently asked question is, what order do I drink the juice? And that's a really good question. And sadly, I have a really crappy answer because it's such a good question, yet the answer is going to surprise you. And the answer is, I could care less what order you drink the juice. And I know people want to have an order. People want me to tell them that it matters. But I am speaking the truth when I tell you it doesn't matter. And so that I just have one request for you, and that's that you start with the Lovely Lemon, at least in part, that you at least enjoy a fourth of that in the mornings. That's just a good kickoff to our day. In fact, that's a good kickoff to every day. And that's a juice that you could easily make yourself. Spring water, squeeze in some lemon, add some cayenne pepper. It's not going to be quite as zinger as sort of like our Lovely Lemon, but it will give you a good experience. Really helps the body move into slightly alkaline pH, which is, we know, is a state of good health. So it's a great habit to do every day. Short of that, you can enjoy the juices in the order that feels right to you. Typically speaking, I tend to, green lemonade is my favorite, so I tend to start with that one. I tend to save the heavier juice, say if there's a beet juice included. We don't always do that in summer, and there's not this time. I would save that to the afternoons. The fellow melons, inflammation tonics, I typically save for after exercise. But again, there's really no right way to do it. And another question I get is, do I have to drink all the juices? And the answer to that is absolutely no. You do not, because each of us we are all individuals. We all need different things. You may find that some fasting days you want all 6, some you want 4, some you want 3. You don't want to be sort of forcing to drink the juice, because we are going to want to drink, a significant amount of water each day too. Super clean, high quality spring water, room temperature. So what I would imagine for you is that you would want to space your juices around two hours apart. You're going to want to keep your juices cold, and sort of let that cadence play out for itself. At 5 o'clock, if you feel like, wow, I feel really like good for today, then save the rest of your juices for breaking your fast tomorrow or for the next day, and feel sort of some freedom in doing that. The next question I tend to get most often is, oh my gosh, I just have to eat something tonight. I just have to do it. It's your juice fast day, and you just have to eat something at night, and you've only had 3 of your juices and you have to do it. And, are you sort of like throwing all the good work away and not really adhering to the fast? Are you a super failure and a loser with capital L? And the answer to all of that is absolutely not. There are lots of ways to do a juice fast. And because you drink 3 juices in a day and decide, because you listen to your body, that I need to have a nice, well-rounded plant-based meal, then you do that. And the next day, potentially you enjoy 3 juices and a nice, great plant-based meal. And you do that. And that digestive rest and that time was good, and you listened to what your body needed. So I don't want anybody to think because you're not able to do the full fast, which I hope for each of you that you'll do at some point, that you're a super failure and that the whole effort was off, because that's not true at all. So remember to listen into your body. If you are somebody who needs to, and what we call is not like quitting or stopping or failing, we call it a fast interruption. So if you have to interrupt for some reason, that's okay. I would encourage you to interrupt your fast with some steamed vegetables, with potentially a bowl of broth, a bowl of soup, a steamed sweet potato, something that's super light. We would want to avoid nuts, seeds, animal fleshes, cow's dairy, things that are more difficult for our body to digest, because again, we are still getting the benefit of kind of having an easy day for ourselves for digestion, a smoothie. Think things that would be really easy in your mind to digest. And that would be the way to maybe do an interruption if you needed to. A lot of questions also come around on fasting day about coffee. And the answer to that is, if you are not a coffee abuser, meaning you have 1 cup of coffee or so and you're finished with that, totally fine to have your coffee in the morning, have a lot of water after, that way it's sort of flushed through your system nicely. If you're somebody who abuses coffee, this might be the time to say, you know what, I'm going to use this as a kicking off point to sort of let this habit, get back control of that habit. Herbal tea is totally fine throughout the day and anytime during the fast. And I do encourage no gum chewing and no mint eating. Those things are just not great habits for us as people that are about chasing good health and up-leveling all of our sort of essence to live vibrantly. It causes your body to really get the digestive system going. If you'll believe it, it's true. Our system is very connected. So when you eat food and you chew your food, that actually tells your body knows, and the saliva tells downstream your digestive system what type of food is coming. And your stomach and your digestive system prepares the digestive enzymes necessary to do that work. And so we don't want to get that whole process and that whole system going when food's not coming. And that's exactly what happens when we eat mints and when we chew gum. Bad plan all around, especially I think many of us might be chewing sugarless gum because we feel, well, maybe better for our teeth and probably less calories, less sugar. What happens then is your digestive system says, oh my gosh, there's sugar coming. And so I'm going to prepare the digestive enzymes for sugar, right? Hear me all the way out here. I'm going to prepare all these digestive enzymes for sugar. Just so we chew the gum, there's no sugar coming. There's no sugar entering into your system, right? There's fake sugar, which looks like sugar, but your body knows the difference. And so what do you think your body does next? It says, oh my gosh, I want so much sugar. I've already gotten the digestive system ready for sugar. And now where's the stinking sugar? And so you actually start craving sugar. And that's not good either, right? So if you can take maybe one snippet from this video training about maybe something you could do to really kind of up level, your sort of like chasing good health efforts, it would be to really cut that out. And once you do, you'll notice you have less gas, less bloating, and probably less sugar cravings. And so that's a really good takeaway. As for, yeah, go ahead.
Do you have the same feeling about the electrolyte additives that have stevia in them, or that I put in my water?
I don't personally use electrolytes, but I don't have that same feeling. Stevia is, if you're, assuming it has a pretty high quality version of stevia, which is a low, it's a natural plant-based. Stevia is a plant, and it's a low glycemic sweetener option, meaning that it doesn't cause our body to kind of go through that blood sugar, sort of like, where's the sugar, where's the sugar, where's the sugar? So I would be fine with that. If that's something that you're used to already, no problem at all. That's a really good question. So if you are, another really good takeaway is if you are a sugar substituter, to make certain that you are doing that with the super highest quality that you can substitute. And that would be probably stevia, which is from a plant. Most integrative practitioners would recommend that as an option. I would look for the cleanest version I could, and I would look for it to be organically grown, would be my two recommendations there. That's a really good question. During our fast day, that's really all the kind of avoiding things that I sort of speak to. I would like you to finish your last juice same as if we were eating by, that kind of dinner time. I wouldn't want to have a juice super late in the evening because, again, we're lying down and we want to promote kind of like really good digestion and gravity and all the things. So, all the time. So we just wouldn't want to be drinking or eating really super late at night. Another thing that I think is important when we're talking about our juice fast day, and that is that you might find that you want something a little jazzy in the evenings. And, because you've been drinking juice all stinking day, it's summertime, it's hot, maybe you're just tired of like the same old thing. And if that's true, I might offer a suggestion to make what I call a summer spritzer. If you follow me on social media, on Instagram, it's The Weekly Juicery, you'll see that I make fresh summer spritzers all through the summer with juice. And some good ones to do that with would be the inflammation tonic, yellow polka dot bikini, cucumber crush, the felon melon. Those juices that have a little fruit would be the best choice. Although green lemonade might not be bad, I would recommend that you stick to one of those choices. And what you'll do is you'll get some sparkling water. My favorite is the Mountain Valley Spring sparkling water. It comes in a green glass bottle, but any sparkling water will do, and don't get hung up on, it has to be that. That's just my favorite. And you'll add about a half a bottle, because I make mine in a mason jar. It could be less if you're just making a smaller portion, about a half a bottle of the juice, ice, and about half of sparkling water, and then the fresh herb of your choice. So for me, the fresh herb primer would be, if I'm making it with the felon melon, I love fresh mint. If I'm going to make it with cucumber crush, I like fresh basil. I mean, I have a system, Now they can obviously go either way. This is Kemi's like herb system. If I'm making with the inflammation tonic, it is fresh rosemary. And if it's yellow polka dot bikini, it is any of the above. They are all amazing with yellow polka dot bikini. So that kind of gives you some examples. But again, it's, you could do it with lavender, you could do it with, lemon balm, you could do it with any fresh herb from your garden. I just happen to grow all of those in abundance, so I use those typically. So that's a really nice treat. And because you're only using half, you could like have half the next day. So that's an idea for you, just to give yourself a treat for the end of the day and kind of wind down. And many of us maybe have a cocktail at that time of day or whatever you do. Like, that's just a really good, healthy way. In fact, we have a lot of people, we offer a program called Pick Six. And so you can choose your own juices every week. It doesn't come with any guidance or instruction. You've got to choose your own juices. We ship it right to your door. And a lot of people do it in summer just to have, summer spritzer making juices. So if you're not on our list, you will be now, and you'll be able to sort of take advantage of that. So a couple of things to think about as you're exiting the fast, and not necessarily in the breaking the fast thing, but what I like to do is know that we've provided in your one-day guided fast a tremendous amount of value for you, and a tremendous amount of value that you can take forward, because that increases the return on your investment again and again and again and again. And a couple of those things, these are two very easy things that you can do for free, that that are super easy to implement, that really up level your chasing good health game. And that is these two things. Number one is that we're going to chew every bite of food that we put into our body at least 15 times. And that may not seem like that matters, but it certainly does. Because if we don't chew our food thoroughly, if we've ever had any colonic irrigation, which is a topic that I talk about in our extended guided fast a little deeper, then you can actually see whole foods moving through the exit tube, which is astounding, right? Not only have you gotten zero nutrients from the food, but very hard on your entire system, right? The second thing is, I talked earlier about how our system is really innate and connected and smart. It's a smart system. If we skip the chewing of the food, then we skip the part where the enzymes really get going and sort of send the message downstream of what's coming. So when our food does get to our digestive system, it's really sort of like anything goes in terms of the enzyme. He's not prepared, right? He's kind of been surprised. So chew every bite of your food 15 times, and most integrated practitioners would say 30. I'm just giving you a 15 to start with. And you'll notice two things. One, you'll have less gas, less bloating. You'll feel more satisfied with your food and with your meals. And you won't eat as much. And once again, I'll go back to our very first thing. If we want to live a really long time, we want to live a really long time in excellent health. I don't care how healthy of an eater we are, we need to eat less food. I would never suggest that we starve. I want us to always leave every meal really nourished, but most of us leave nourished plus a little. So we need to eat less, generally speaking. The second thing that I always recommend people implement, and if you will indulge me, just do the two things for 1 week and see how much better you feel. It's a simple probably number one bang for your buck food combining rule. Food combining could be an hour-long training on its own. But generally speaking, this one is a biggie. And it is that you would never combine an animal flesh with a starchy vegetable. That would be a sticky, not appropriate, not clean food combination. You would, so if you're going to enjoy, I'll give it an example. If you're going to enjoy an animal flesh of any kind, and when I say animal flesh, that means any animal, fish, cow, pork, anything like that. That is an animal flesh. If you're going to enjoy an animal flesh, you would enjoy with that a non-starchy vegetable, meaning broccoli, green beans, a green salad. You would avoid any starchy food. That would be any starchy vegetable like potatoes, and sort of like the traditional American fare while eating out is a baked potato and steak and bread. Couldn't be a more inappropriate food combination. If we're out at a restaurant and we want to order a steak, we would order a side of broccoli and a green salad, never a potato. Even a sweet potato is a starchy vegetable. So that's number one. If you're going to enjoy a starchy vegetable, like a big loaded sweet potato or a side of fries, or you just love the garlic bread or whatever it is, the starchy thing, then you would choose a green vegetable to go with that, not an animal flesh. And if you follow that food combination alone, You will notice much less bloating, much less fluff around your middle because your digestive system knows what to do. And gross but true, if we eat inappropriate food combinations for too long, then we create a lot of excess mucus in our body. And there's actually mucus in our GI tract, and some of it needs to be there, but most of us have a little bit of an overrun. And you can actually see that in colonic irrigation. And so that's one of the things we really work on in our extended guided fast, is getting rid of that. Heavy citrus juices do a really good job of that, by the way. So that food combination is like one that is no good for the home team. And remember, we want to really work on this like great team down in our gut of great bacteria. And so we want to practice that food combination. So if we just do those two things, and that means we chew each bite of food 15 times, we're mindful of that very simple food combination, then we will notice that our digestion is greatly improved. And we know that that's the foundation of health. All health begins in the gut. And so that's a super positive thing. The other thing that I learned recently, and I had never, I guess maybe I've heard this before, but it has been as recent as having dinner with a friend in a conference in Orlando in early March. And he took one moment to take 5 or 6 deep breaths before eating. And it was somewhat awkward. I was like, I wonder what he's doing over there, because not someone I knew super well. And I just sort of sat there. I mean, it just take long. This was awkward, right? And he says, yeah, I really like to make sure that I am nowhere near fight or flight, and that I have zero anxiety with eating. Because if we are in fight or flight, then we are not in rest and digest. And it's important when we're eating to always be in rest and digest. And I don't know about you guys, but often I find myself like barreling in the salad while I'm doing 5 more things, and I'm not really present to my food. I'm not really present to those around me. And therefore I'm not in rest and digest. And again, the name of the game is getting everything we can, doing everything we can to make sure digestion is working great. So I think that I've probably covered all the biggies of juice fasting, at least for one day. I've tried to answer all our frequently asked questions. If there are others, Karen, any questions from you that I might have missed that you might have in your mind?
Yeah, no, Kimmy, that was great. Really informative. And I really appreciate the tips at the end.
Yeah, good.
Yeah, I mean, I know about the slow down your chewing and get those, slow down your eating and get all those chews in. But other things were very helpful, and always a good reminder to slow down, by the way.
Yes, I know. Lucas, did I forget any frequently asked questions?
I don't believe so. The most frequently asked question that we get is the order. What type of order should we do it in? And we always emphasize lively lemon first. Mm-hmm. Other than that, you can switch it up, and that's really an important thing. I also really liked your point about eating less food. That's one of the big things that we can easily do in our diet every day, is just eat less of everything.
Right. Mm-hmm. I know. And that's for anybody, chasing good health or otherwise. I'm all victim to, eating bad food from time to time and drink, but probably the most thing I do is I eat too much. I just eat too much of it. I stop well after I'm 80% full. So it's a good reminder and a good way to do that. So, well, I'm glad, Karen, you were able to join us. I'm glad to meet you, and I'm excited for you to do this on Monday. And maybe you can share the tips in your lean group so as to help out your other folks, even if they're not doing the juice fast. We can give them a little bit of bonus material. So
happy to share it. This was great. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. And I'm going to stop recording. And again, thank you so much, Karen, for embracing our work and our product. And I hope that, we'll see you again soon, maybe in a longer fast. We'll be doing it in August.
Okay.
All right. Take care.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.